Yeah, hello and welcome to the next setup and Hotlap video around Sochi. For the last corner we are taking a really wide entry to get as much speed onto the straight as possible, so take a lot of curb on the outside, and now we are on the start-finish straight. A really long straight, one of the longest in the calendar. Open up the DRS. And now we are watching just in front of the 100 meter board. That's a braking point. Go down to 4th gear, take as much curb on the inside and on the outside as possible. Now for this endless left-hander, flat out, stay tight to the curb, and we are watching the shadows. Just as you reach that, that's the braking point. Go down to 5th gear, maybe 4th even, and now we are watching the black box on the top. Down to 4th gear, take as much curb on the inside and on the outside as possible. A little bit of a swerve for me there. Now again the black box, down to 5th gear. A little bit of a cut there, but nothing too major. Again the shadows, that's the braking point for this 4th or 5th gear left-hander. Now once again the black boxes, down to 4th gear. So the 100 meter board again, and now open up the DRS for the back straight. We are watching on the left hand side between the 150 and 100 meter board. You really want to make sure you hit the first curb on the inside right here. Open up the second corner. And now short shift into 5th and even 6th gear, down to 3rd. Take as much curb on the inside as possible. 4th gear again. Make sure you get a good traction out of here, which we didn't quite manage well. Now 100 meter board again, down to 4th gear. Again, take as much curb as possible to get a good exit onto the long straight. And that's a hot lap around Sochi. Yeah, so that was a quite decent lap, I have to say. Again, as usual, no assists used. So, and now for the setup, which is a little bit different compared to other setups. I'm using a little bit more wing, as you can see right now, 5-5. That's because you really, in the middle and in the last sector, really have many corners where you really need some wing. So 4-4 is a little bit quick on the straights, but a little slower into corners. For the transmission, I'm using a little bit more on-throttle transmission. That's because you really need to get a good turn-in into these 90-degree corners. You really need to hit the apexes. For the camber and toe, again, full camber and full toe for better traction out of corners, which is quite important around some parts of this track as well. Like onto the back straight, for example. And for the suspension, 7-2, 7-3, 4-4. A little bit different compared to other tracks. That's because it's quite different compared to other tracks. Many 90-degree corners, quite quick corners as well, so you really need to have a different setup around here. For the brakes, I'm using a little bit more brakes to the rear. That's just because my driving style has evolved in this game a little bit over the last week or so. And for the ballast and for the tire pressure, again, default settings for me. A little bit less pressure on the rear tire and ballast to 7. So that was a setup and hot lap video around Sochi. I hope you enjoyed it. Next track will of course be the first in Europe. The Spanish Grand Prix, Barcelona. I hope you enjoyed this video. The time was pretty decent. I could have improved in the first and the last sector a little bit, but I think the time is pretty decent as well. Just 3/10 of the world record, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you the next time around Barcelona. Until then, bye bye.